What's up? What's up? Hello, hi, howdy, hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Deep Space, episode 21. And today we are going to be talking about the debate. I'm sorry. We're going to be talking about the debates. We're going to be talking about the platforms. We're going to dive into what we saw last night, what we thought. We've got a couple special guests today from Upside Down Studios, so we're going to let them introduce themselves. And we're going to talk about climate change and brain parasites and Hispanic Heritage Month. Who picked these topics today? Okay, anywho, real quick, just want to start the show off with, listen, if you guys are as upset as we're upset with the current climate, whether you vote blue, whether you vote red, I think at this point, all of America can agree that this shit is just embarrassing, just completely embarrassing. And we need to expect more out of our politicians. So we're going to start the show off with a quick call. Go vote. Go vote now and go vote in the primaries. For the love of God, fuck this election. Go vote in the primaries. Seriously, give us a better option come next year. Just give us so. I'm tired of choosing between the least of two evils. I would like to it was wild to just briefly see someone talk about a platform last night. For a little bit. I was like, whoa, shit, politics still lives? I'd like to be able to see someone running on, oh, you know what, we're going to actually do something again. We're going to actually try to improve the American living situation. That would be great. So the way that we get that is you got to go vote now, and you got to go vote in the primaries, and we got to stop choosing that a third of Americans just don't fucking vote every goddamn election cycle. That's ridiculous. I don't care if you live in a red state and you vote blue and you think your vote doesn't matter, or maybe you live in a blue state and everybody else votes red and you think it doesn't matter. Just fucking go. Just go vote. Seriously. That's it. That's the whole monologue. I was gonna tell jokes and make you giggle. There's no funny anymore. I have no happiness left inside me. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and bring up the happy cast, starting with our newest position here at Deep Space, Michael Copenhaver. Michael is taking over a very important role on the show. He is going to be our moderator and stop us all from talking over each other. And he's also going to be my anger translator, okay? I don't know if you've seen that old Key and Peele, but this is my anger translator. So, Michael, how do I feel if they don't go vote?
Yeah, it's going to be bad for you. You're going to probably kill yourself. You're taking it all too seriously. That's why I wanted to be the moderator. I don't take one side or the other. I think they're all piles of shit. That's politics right there. Piles of shit. I just not a formal announcement, Ryan. Not a formal announcement, but I will be running in 2024. That's not a joke.
Well, we will announce you, and we will sponsor you. But you better have a real platform, not hey, my beard is majestic. But with that being said, Rob Coleman, how are you today, man?
Doing good, Ryan. I heard you don't have any more hate inside of you.
It's just sadness and just rage. That's why we brought Mike.
There's a couple of Twinkies in there, though.
There's a couple of Twinkies right here. I'm wearing a Marine shirt that I'm not sure how I got. I think at some point I went to a fair and did pull-ups. It was such a long time ago that I don't remember being able to do pull-ups.
That delicious sherbet ice cream that come on a stick.
We've got Jonathan Hamill coming in today. What's up, John?
Hey, man. I'm here. I think.
I think you're here too. I'm loving your haircut, by the way. I do miss the beard. All right, we've got Mr. Old Guy working the backstage. He's okay. He's currently humping a pillow, so we're gonna just take him back off there. And then we've got Marco from Upside Down Studios. Now, Marco, how are you today?
What up? What up?
You brought some guests with you today. Who should I introduce first? Who do you think's the better talker?
Well, we got our producer Greg on the show. He's hooking everything up. He doesn't stay in the background though. He's up front.
Okay. So if you said Greg, I'm going Jared. Hey, Jared, how you doing?
What's up, everybody?
Jared, you're a member of Upside Down Studios, right? And it says Big Sizz is your nickname.
Big Sizz. I'm the heavy metal hippie.
All right.
Hippie, I love it.
Well, we're glad to have you today to be part of the conversation. And I mean, tell the people a little bit about yourself real quick.
Wow. Stay-at-home dad.
What?
Homeschooler. I'm a stay-at-home dad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a homeschooler. Love heavy metal.
And my beard has pockets.
My beard game's pretty strong.
I'm jealous.
Man, like, just a normal dude. Wants to see this country go in a decent direction for my kids to grow up in.
Right on.
Right on.
You know,
Amen.
All right.
You look at the diversity in metal, and why can't we have that same diversity here in just society?
You know, I wish society was like just like the Disturbed band, just everybody got along like that. But we'll get to that later.
It's all
Greg,
What's up,
this is the
everybody?
intro. Hi,
How you guys doing?
we're doing good, man.
Awesome.
You got your mic right in the middle of your face, Greg.
Yeah. What do you have?
That's the best look possible.
Greg, how do you have that many lights and angles and you're still blurry, man? What's going on here?
It's one of Marco's cameras.
Say no more. Say no more.
The engineer who's in charge of production quality has to blame the talent. Okay.
So, Greg, you're the producer. You're the producer of Marco's show, is what I heard.
I'm sorry?
You're Marco's producer,
Yes. Yes.
and he says you guys have been in it for like 6 or 7 years, right?
No, more like roughly about 4 years. We've been all getting together and doing the thing. You know what I mean? We have our own different podcasts. We have Metal Mondays. We have Rap Tuesdays. We have WTF Wednesday with Numbnuts over there. And then Full Album Friday. So, you know, we have a show almost every night. But originally it started with all of us getting together and just having a good time. You know what I mean? So we basically try to keep it that way.
Well, listen, I'm glad to have you on the show. I've been wanting you guys to come on for a while. I really only have one question for you and for Jared. So you mean to tell me that you guys have been hanging out with Marco every week,
And he hasn't got one
multiple
yet.
times? Thank you.
I've known Greg
I'm
for
just kidding,
damn near
Ryan.
20 years.
I mean, no, that was way better than what I was going to say because he does have like sets of children. So, I mean,
Yeah.
no, how do you not like how do you deal with? I mean, just Marco. Like, it's not anything bad. He's a great guy, but Jesus, man, like he's in a group chat with us, and I pulled over to piss today. I had 200 messages. I had to be like, all right, guys, listen. Once again, and this, I'm gonna let my anger translator say this again later, but once again, could we please not pick the discussion for the show 30 minutes before the show? I don't need 200 messages every fucking Wednesday, okay?
Yeah, I don't like it. That's my sleep time.
You know?
He's like, here's 10 things for you to upload to the thing. There you go.
Yeah, here, and he's like, it's always like YouTube videos too. It's like, all right, here's this thing about like
I
climate
sent you
change.
3 articles, not
2
YouTube
hours and 20
videos.
minutes
Yeah,
long.
here's the thing about the magnetic fields and climate change. Here's the thing about brain parasites and Mickey Mouse and Love Pond. Here's the thing about the debate.
China grew their own son.
Yeah, China grew their
They
own
grew
sun.
cotton and they made their own son.
You're gonna say something.
That's how you do it in Minecraft.
You're gonna say something, Jared. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say and he doesn't give anybody time to read anything.
No. He expects the moment that you see the link, you comprehend everything in that article because we're talking about it now.
Read the headline. That's what I did.
Taking you 30
Read the headline.
So listen, you guys know why we're here. That's about 10 minutes intro. Listen, if you're part of the show, we do have some viewers with us. Please give us a like, give us a share. The comments are live, so you guys can chime in as we go through the topics. Let's just dive right into this mess. I'm sure we all watched the debate last night.
Yeah. This is how we're going to run this, fellas. I'm your moderator. This is where the discussion begins. I'm your moderator. So there's a lot of opinions to go around here. I'm going to ask you guys a question about the debate. We're going to start with Greg tonight since he's one of our new guests. Then we're going to go from Greg over to Jared, and then we're going to just go around the horn. Don't take up more than about 60 seconds. I'm going to be watching the clock. I'm going to tell you, okay, that's your time. We're moving on to the next guy. Don't trumpet. Don't be talking over your shit. Got it?
I'll choke you with my
Who got the echo?
Now,
That was me for a
here's your
quick
question.
second.
Here's your question. Toward the end of the debate, President Trump was asked directly, do you or do you not denounce terror groups such as the KKK and other white supremacy groups of the like? He blatantly avoided the question, and he followed with a very controversial statement. Stand back and be ready?
Stand back and stand by.
What do you think about
Stand
that?
down and
back
stand by.
Stand back and stand by.
Stand
Well, there
down
you
and
go.
stand by.
Okay. What do you
Then say
think of that?
stand
We're
down.
going to start with Greg. You got about 60 seconds and go.
Well, I'm going to start off by saying I didn't really watch the whole debate, but that whole situation, no.
Nice.
What's that?
Nice.
Oh, okay. But I'm not like Marco in any way, shape, or form. But anyhow, as far as that statement goes, if you're going to abolish all them groups, you need to abolish all of them. You know what I mean? Not just one group, because from my understanding, he said something about the Proud Boys, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
So if you go, I'm sorry, I don't mean to.
But to me, there's people saying they're racist. There's people that say they ain't. To me, if you have to form some kind of group like that, then there is a problem. You know what I mean? But then again, I'm not about protest. I'm not about all that stuff. You know what I mean? So that's just my opinion. If you're going to abolish,
All right.
If you're going to abolish one, you got to abolish all of them.
Well, if race is its basic core and it's about hate, I couldn't agree with you more.
Exactly.
Good point.
Exactly.
Jared, what do you have to say about that?
Marco throughout the day posted several links.
Of course he did. That's what he does.
That had to do with this. One thing he did post that was true was there have been several occasions where President Trump has denounced the KKK, David Duke, racism. There have been occasions. I mean, it's documented.
Okay, but the question is, how do you
But
feel
when
about
you were
the
listening
last
to
night?
the debate, he did ask. He did turn. I just rewatched actually this clip where he returned and said, "What word do you want me to use to renounce them?" Like he even said he was willing to do it. He literally, to me, looked like just okay. Well, I call it this, and you say I didn't say this word, but I used this word. You just tell me what freaking word you want me to use, and I'll use it, and I'll renounce it.
It was white supremacy, and he did give him the word.
Yeah, moderator, I'd like to jump in, then I'll
Go ahead,
let him
Ryan.
know.
Hit through his 1 minute's up.
Your
Thanks,
minute.
Jared. Good thoughts.
Okay, this is my minute because you said you watched the clip and he did fumble his words like that, but he did that on purpose. It was a tactic to not answer the question. He was asked about white supremacists and the KKK, and he said, "Well, what would you like me to say to denounce them? Which group would you like me to denounce?" And they kept feeding him groups. At one point, Biden said the Proud Boys, and then what he said was that they should stand by and stand down, which is horrifying. I don't understand how that's not horrifying. That's a militia group that he's telling to stand by. For what?
What's your theory, Ryan? You got 15 seconds.
My theory goes back to some of his comments about people going to the elections and watching and intimidating the same way that they did with the protests at the Michigan State Hall before. He wants them to be mobile. He wants them to intimidate and put fear in people. And it
There's your
is
time.
shocking
There's your time.
that he would not denounce them. Shocking.
John Hamill, do you have something to say?
Yeah, I just think it's appalling that he because I think there's basically two stances here, that he's too stupid to understand the question or he avoided it. So, I mean, there's no other thing that I can accept. It's too stupid to understand it, which is very understandable. He's a moron. And he avoided the question. Like, what world does he live in that he needed to be told who white supremacists are? He doesn't know who voted for him. He doesn't know that the KKK voted for him. Have you not looked at their website? It says alt-right. What do you think that means? They're not talking about, alternators. Talking about the alt-right.
All right, good point. Good thought.
KKK is anything other than conservative, Christian, Republic, racist, and the KKK, that is. Not all Republicans, but the KKK are conservative, Christian.
That's your time.
Republicans.
That's your time. Marco, do you have anything to say?
You really want me to go next? Or you want to let Rob go?
Yeah, you get 1 minute.
Seconds, Marco.
You get 1 minute.
All right, so this whole paranoia about stand down and be ready. You guys don't get it in your head that maybe he's telling them to look, chill the fuck out a little bit. You don't think, because it's okay for all these other militia groups, just because they got a little melanin in their skin to fucking be able to gather up and go fuck shit up. But when these guys go and go to defend or just to go stand there, now I don't mind that. I don't care what color you are. If you're in a state that you can carry a gun, you carry your gun. I'm all for gun rights. If you want to walk around with your shotgun, if it's allowed, it's allowed. I don't care what color you are. That ain't the point. But the point is if one group could do it, another group could do it. And as far as downing the white supremacy thing, it's like Jared said, he did it plenty of times, and nobody's fucking happy with what he says. If he downs one particular group, then another particular group goes at him. If he downs this group, then another. And that is America. That's what world we live in. We live in a bunch of butthurt millennials that constantly are whining about what the hell is going on.
All right, good thoughts, Marco. Robert Coleman, you got some melanin in your skin. What do you think?
Oh, my God. Let me see if I can fit all this in. Well, first of all, Trump is playing by the Hitler playbook. He is feeding chum to his audience, who is very passionate about how they feel about their race and how they feel about their country. He is a nationalist, and that is leading him into fascism. So Antifa, which is anti-fascist, that shows up at his rallies, are there because of people like the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys and all of these other militia groups. Now, Trump is a racist. Let's just say it. What a racist means is, I like my race better than yours, okay? And when he says, I don't want to do sensitivity training, which was another part of the debate, that meant I don't want people learning about anything other than the white America being the best country on the planet. That puts black people, Hispanic people, and anybody else that's not white in the back of the bus. And be ready. Stand down, but be ready, because if the election comes and I don't win, I'm going to contest it, and I need you guys to fight for me in the streets. That's what I heard last night.
All right, there's your minute. Last but not least, the old guy. What does Age and Wisdom have to say about what you heard last night?
Words have meaning. Words have meaning. Words are specific. Stand down is a military phrase that means put your weapon away. Stand back sends a different message, and stand by means wait for orders. That is specific. That's what it means, and I don't care how you think you want to spin it. That's what it says.
So at the beginning of the
wait a minute, you're not. He's in charge. Let's let him run this. It's going good.
Well, you seem to be done, old guy. What do you got? We're open discussion. Here's the deal. I'm going to let you guys do open discussion like this for a while, and if it gets out of hand, I'm going to put you on a timer, and then I'm going to have to throw the fucking mute on you. That's all there is to it.
All right.
So I was just trying to steer us. I was just trying to steer our conversation. I figured I was still hosting and you were moderating. I'm sorry. So I lost what I was going to say now. I'm so sorry.
Okay, Greg, you be quiet then and let me moderate.
To what, Greg?
Another question that was, yeah, like I said, be quiet and let me moderate. You lost your time. Now I'm taking it back. It's a new position. I'm going to exercise my power. They also talked about climate change. And I felt that neither candidate personally really brought any points forward on what they wanted to do with the climate. What do you guys feel about the answers they gave toward the question of climate change? We're going to go once again back to Greg. We're going to keep the same order as the last round. We'll start with our newest guest. Greg, what did you feel about the question and the way it was answered?
Okay, again, I didn't watch the debate, so I have no idea.
What are your feelings on climate change then?
I didn't study for this test, sorry.
It's okay.
I love it.
What are your personal thoughts and feelings about climate change? Do you believe in it? Do you think it's a hoax? Do you think it's an overblown thing? What are your feelings about it?
Honestly, I think it's an overblown thing. From what I learned back in high school with climate change and all that is totally different than what it is today. And it just...
when were you in high school? Give us a reference.
What's that?
When were you in high school? Let's get a reference.
Oh, late 90s. I graduated in 2000. But anyhow, yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I really don't.
Okay, I think he's just going to pass on that question.
Yeah, I think I am.
All right, Jared, what do you got to say? What do you think about what happened in the debate last night as far as the question that was asked about climate change and what kind of answer their plans seem to have? Did they lay out any plan? What do you feel about it?
I agree with you. I don't think either of them really, they didn't give any kind of plan. A lot of this debate, there was just rhetoric and insults really hurled back and forth. There wasn't a lot of plan introduction in any of this. This was just a circus. It wasn't very informative. My personal feelings on climate change, part of it's cyclical. I actually happen to be involved back in the real late 90s with some ice core sampling, actually studying this. And there is some cyclical elements going on. To think that humans haven't affected it is ludicrous. I mean, just look at blacktop and concrete and the amount we've created, the amount of heat that regenerates. Just that alone. Building cities, just right there, we've affected it. We have added to it.
I love that you just said that. I love that you just said that because that's kind of the whole argument. Like, we might not be the whole thing, but we are definitely contributing.
Absolutely, we are.
Keep going, Ryan. It's on your time.
That's pretty much it. I mean, we have a responsibility to take care of the planet. We have a responsibility to take care of ourselves. We have a responsibility, grow economically, to grow jobs. There's more than one issue to fix climate change. It's not just one thing. And I think in too many things besides just climate change, everything going on, so many groups of people are focused on just one thing, and the problems are complex. There's none of these problems are simple problems. They're complex, and it requires multi-pronged approaches to it. Climate change is one of those. We have a responsibility to find better resources, to find alternative energy. We have a responsibility to an entire industry and into an entire, when I say industry, I don't mean the companies, the corporations. I mean, I was a derrick hand for over a decade. You know what I mean? And I worked the oil fields. I worked pipeline. I raised 5 kids, and a wife was able to stay at home when they were much younger.
I know Rob wanted to go, but I do have something.
When did you graduate high school?
We're responsible to those people as well. And we have to find balance. Everything in life is about balance. Once it gets out of whack one way or the other, we will have negative consequences. There's an equilibrium. Water always seeks its own level.
We're definitely. I want to ask you,
when did you graduate high school? When did you graduate high school?
96.
Okay.
So since you work in the industry, and I know Rob wants to go, so I'll ask this and then throw it to him. What do you think of? It just came out in the news today that Exxon is they were just in court for misleading the public for 40 years. They knew the effects of climate change. They'd done their study, and they told the public one thing, but they gave the real results to their investors. And they actually lost the lawsuit because for some reason, the courts decided to sue them for lying to their investors. And they're like, no, our investors knew that we were affecting the climate negatively. We lied to everybody else. So, I mean, being in the industry, how do you feel about that? Does that make you upset? I mean, did you know that was happening?
Well, first of all, I mean, my part of the industry, you know, I have zero feelings for, you know, ExxonMobil or Chesapeake Energy as really as a company, or as you know, I'm not personally tied to any of those people, even if I have contracted for them before. I'm pissed off anytime especially when it does affect this industry. Anytime somebody is found to be fraudulent, anytime somebody is found to be violating safety regulations, violating environmental regulations, one, put a bad name on the entire industry. The whole not. You know, I can tell you from the guys on the ground, the guys that did the work, we did what we were required to do. We took the proper, you know, safety and environmental precautions. We did what was right. We called in when we needed to. We didn't want to harm the environment. You know, a lot of these lease roads and these lease sites, when they're reclaimed, are put back to actual better condition that they were ever in before. There's a lot of infrastructure improvements that these companies make too. Yes, it is self-serving, but it also benefits the community. New roads are paved. Bridges are rebuilt. You know, crumbling bridges. All bridges across the United States are in terrible shape. Across the entire nation, our infrastructure is crumbling.
Oh, it's horrible. It's a D.
And they are putting back into that. Done responsibly, done by, you know, we have evidence of how to drill wells effectively and how to drill wells environmentally responsibly. When those guidelines are followed, we have very few problems. And there's very, very little negative impact to the environment. It's when people don't follow them that you have that issue. Mm-hmm. So anytime somebody in the industry does something underhanded and does something in violation of that, I am extremely pissed off, because there's a right way and a wrong way to do everything.
I'm going to write my question down. Rob, go ahead.
Oh, it's my turn?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was food there for a second. Listen, I don't want the president to be an environmental expert. I want the president to be smart enough to listen to the experts. The president didn't go to school to understand environmental fucking safety. The president went to school or whatever. The president got elected because it's a popularity contest. I need for the president to be smart enough to say, God damn, we're having hurricanes and fucking whole states are catching on fire. Tornadoes are wiping out entire communities in the Midwest. I need to listen to some people that are smarter than me. You know, I don't need a president that's going to come on TV and say, well, the trees are dry and we need new forest management. Forest management, if they get out there with some rakes and some leaf blowers, I'm sure all of this will end very safely, very calmly. I get calls every year. California's on fire. California's on fire. Then do something about it, dumbass.
It's still burning from last year, you asshole.
So I don't mean to go over my time. I don't know how much time we're getting, but I need a president that's going to listen. Right now. I need a president that's going to listen to somebody that knows what the fuck they're talking about, and not a lot of goddamn witch doctors.
So we have other topics to get to, but I did want to follow up because it's weird to have one of you, someone that works in the industry, on the show, and I've wanted to ask this question for a long time. So part of the platform of the Democrats is switching to green energy, to switching to renewables, and that's going to create jobs and it's going to create infrastructure. Just like you're saying, like when you take on this massive of a project, it's going to do a lot of good things. What's the hesitation, and how do we? I don't understand the mindset of people that are entrenched in coal and gas. And I get it; it's your job, it's your livelihood. So that's kind of why I'm glad you're here. But you have to know that there's going to be another job in the transition, right? You go ahead. I'm asking you.
No, I agree. I agree with you. I don't share those same sentiments as a lot of people that you see, at least interviewed, have. A lot of people in the industry do not have those same views. We understand that it's being phased out, that we're going to be phased out. I mean, I put up with the price of oil up and down since the 90s. I've been through plenty of right in the middle of a well, and everybody we're shutting down, going home. You don't have a job. To people are competing with each other to get you to come to work for them because you're experienced. There's so much work and so few people. I've been everywhere in between. And anybody who's been in any length of time pretty much shares the same viewpoint. We know it's only a matter of time. And we also know that there's other jobs available. I've got friends and past work buddies that don't work in the oil industry anymore. You know, they are working on green projects, or they're working on cellular stuff, working those towers.
There you go. Learn how to build some damn.
There's a lot of people that have made transitions. But we also know that some restrictions and some plans of the past have a completely unrealistic timetable. I am one of the few people also that will, in the industry, that will tell you that we need to end all government subsidies to oil companies.
Amen.
But that's all energy companies, period. So I don't care if you're a green company. I don't care if you're, BP. I don't care. I don't care. Those subsidies, it needs to be open market, and you will see more progress that way than you will trying to regulate it through the government.
The topic is which president is going to move us in the right direction, though.
I don't think either of those two presidents will move us in that direction.
Okay, fair enough. Marco, what have you got to add?
All right. As far as what Rob said about listening to the different scientists or whatever, you got to realize that science is evolving constantly, and scientists are doing constant different research. That's why I showed you them other articles. It isn't just one thing or the other, just like everybody just agreed on. Now, we didn't cause the problem.
Well, if we can't stop it,
definitely are helping it along. Wait a minute, my time. We're definitely helping it along. Now, as far as the whole president thing going on there, I feel the same way about the whole energy situation as I do about the drug situation. I don't like Obamacare or the Affordable Health Care Act, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But if there's nothing better to replace it, leave it the fuck alone until you got something better to replace it. Now, if you got nothing better in the works, if you want to shut down a fucking coal mine today, tomorrow you better be opening up your green whatever the fuck. And you can't be like, oh no, in 20 years down the road, we're going to open up this windmill plant. And then, you just lost a whole generation of fucking workers because you want to have your windmill plant. If you ain't got that shit in the fucking
behind
works.
what Jared was saying. I think that's the point behind what Jared was saying about infrastructure is going to be in place first. And we all get that. I don't think anybody's naive about that. Good points, Marco.
I just got a question.
It's the tree.
They said...
so many things that are wrong all right now, and to fix one and argue over one when 25 need to be addressed, it's just not going to be anywhere near productive. But if we have 20 years worth of solutions to get to, why are these folks arguing over these 4-year blocks when we need 5 times that amount to fix this country? Right. That's the stupidity of politics.
Well,
and it's the people that are working that don't have a voice in what's going on. I spent 39 years working for the post office. I can tell you why things are delayed and what he did. And he did it on purpose, and it's going to fuck some shit up. Now you got more problems. But hey, we gotta quit listening to other people that don't play a part in what's going on with our lives. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
There you go.
honestly, I mean, we make a big deal over a presidential election, and he's really just the figurehead. Like, we really need to be concerned at the congressional level where laws are actually made. We get focused on a presidential level in a presidential election, and we all want to start fighting over who's the bigger jackwagon. And then we settle for the lesser of two evils, which is just absolutely insane to me. But we really need to be worried about where the laws are actually made and where something can actually be done about it, where actual true power to mold and shape the direction of the country is. And that's in Congress.
How much money do you make to be able to pay $3 million in taxes? And I have a problem trying to get $500.
What?
I know what he's talking about. Real quick, though, I got to go to a break here quickly. I want to address Mark. Mark, thanks for joining us. And to the people that are viewing, thanks for joining us. The comments are live. Before I plug our sponsors, to all of our guests on the show in our group chat, there's a link you can share out so your friends and family can watch as well. Mark still talking about the green opportunities, and he asked if we'd ever been to, small rural areas that are urban and off the grid. And that, there's no opportunities and those people will starve. And, he does say term limits, which I think we all could agree to. I think most Americans are in favor of term limits. But to Mark, I think what's frustrating, and I don't know if the crew will agree, we'll let them all answer. But for me, it's frustrating when people bring up the rural areas and the non-urban areas that are off the grid. Y'all have been lied to for years. You're not on. No help is coming. Like, if you're living in a small town and all you had was the coal plant and the coal plant's gone, they're not going to reopen the coal plant. It's just not going to happen. You're never going to have the infrastructure of a major city if you live in a minor city. Like, it's just not. With capitalism, it'll never happen. There's a reason the T-Mobile map looks the way it does. Like, there's just not profit in providing those areas with that service, man. I'm sorry.
No, subscribers for the service. I get it.
Yeah.
Listen, let's go back to the debate. I got one more question, and then we're going to move on to some of our other topics. This is a quick one. I want to hear from everybody. Who will fight, President Donald Trump or challenger Joe Biden? Greg.
You were cutting out. Wouldn't you have to repeat the question?
No, I'm the old guy.
Who wins in a fist fight? President Donald Trump or challenger Joe Biden?
It's going to be Trump because Joe's probably going to go sleep.
Okay, that's one for Trump. Jared.
Dude, Donald Trump, didn't he fucking body slam Vince McMahon?
Yeah, he's trained,
Nobody
dude.
forgot
There's
that.
no
Nobody
doubt,
already
man. He's
forgot
going to
that.
drop Biden in a stone cold stunner, and it's going to be lights out.
Marco.
That same thing. I remember Trump when he was in WWF. It wasn't even E, it was F.
Yeah, Mark Mitchell agrees with all the WWE stuff. John Hamill.
Some might want them both to have a heart attack at the bell ring, but
I wouldn't lose any sleep.
I'd say what about he's on stimulants? So
Okay. Rob Coleman.
Performance enhancement.
Serious right now, Biden will whoop Trump's ass. Trump, all he does is eat fast food all goddamn day long and sit down on the couch and watch Fox News. Biden actually works out. Biden can still do 50 push-ups. Biden will whoop his ass.
Baby food.
Fifth round knockout.
Old guy.
Biden's going to drop on one knee and punch him in the nuts, and it'll be over.
Biden work out, dude. Look up his video.
Oh, man. You know who would definitely win the fight? Our corporate overlords, templabor.org. 216-205-7247. You can give them a call. I definitely think Make 'em Laugh Mondays would totally make them both roll, and they'd win the fight by default. And definitely don't forget about Funny Noise Productions. Funny Noise Productions would probably put on the whole event. I'm thinking that they would set up the same pool we're trying to do, Trump and Biden in Jello. Coming December 2020.
I would pay for that.
Hey, before we leave the presidential topic, I got one last thing to add.
I have a question for the group too. So, go ahead.
Yeah, this is quick.
I will allow it.
I watched on HBO the Comey Rule, that 2-part movie series that they did about Jim Comey and his interactions with Donald Trump. The shit is amazing. It's getting like mixed reviews, but the guy that plays Trump is so fucking good. Y'all gotta watch it just to see this guy play Trump. I mean, it's just excellent.
It on?
Huh?
What's it on? Netflix?
HBO. Yeah, I think it's on HBO. I think it's an HBO miniseries, and it's a 2-night thing. And once again, it's about James Comey, how he became FBI director, the whole Hillary thing, and how he kind of went through with Trump. And it kind of is outlined by his book. It's kind of based on his book, but it's amazing. If you guys get a chance to see it.
That's really odd because how did that come out before he testified before the Senate? He did that today.
So that's not part of the movie. The movie ends with Comey being fired. So that's the.
Oh, okay.
It's the prequel, Marco. It's the prequel.
So I wanted to ask our panel of experts a pretty loaded question here from the debates yesterday. So I don't know if you guys have seen all the articles that have been floating around, but we are getting a lot of feedback from the world, from world leaders, from just in general. I mean, this is just a couple snippets of the articles of what they see. And
I thought that was them reviewing our show.
that was them. I mean, it could be. This is. I'm thinking it's world leaders on what they think of the debate last night. Childish, chaotic, and grueling from France. A TV duel like a car accident. Italy says never has American politics sunk so low. The UK
didn't they have a porn star hit somebody with a shoe or a purse or something in their own Senate?
Yeah.
I don't know if I care about what it says. That's just my 2 cents.
The UK says that the
parliament where they ninja kick each other when they disagree.
Okay, the UK says that the clearest loser from the first presidential debate between Trump and Biden was America. And then India, who, holy shit, India, the U.S. embarrassed itself before the world for 100 minutes. My question is, no matter who wins this election, I mean, I can't even wrap my head around how we go about repairing our standing in the world at this point.
Dude, it was a lot worse when fucking George Bush was in there.
I don't want to talk about it. I want to talk about how do we get it back? How do we get it?
I don't
start over from scratch. Get rid of all of them, and then start over from scratch.
Neither of these two are going to really properly repair any relations. I truly don't believe that.
It's going to take a generation to repair bullshit that went on just
are spot on about that debate. We talked a little before.
We talked about it, yeah.
I think most Americans agree that
America is
one
losing.
At a time, please.
It doesn't matter which one of these two clowns actually gets elected.
Let's not do this, okay? Because the reason the debate went sideways is solely because of Donald Trump. All right, let's not.
I would disagree. That's what I'm trying to talk about. Is we've lost
solely because of Donald Trump. He's an asshole.
It was not just because of Donald Trump.
I agree with you.
Hey, one at a time. One at a time.
Trump is definitely
old guy. You got your hand up. That's civilized. Go.
The only ones that can fix this are people that will bring people to the table and have a discussion and have hard discussions. I'm from Cleveland. That's what saved this city. And Trump is not going to have any hard discussions because he thinks he's the smartest one in the room. At least Biden will invite others and let them talk.
And he has experience.
Right.
He knows everybody.
So
Here's one thing I'm hearing a lot of. Biden's been in there for 47 years and nothing has changed. What's he going to do now that's different? That's my question to you. Answer that question.
I'll go first. So because it leads into what I was trying to say. Our politics and our dysfunction has been on the world stage for a while now. And that's what I'm worried about. It's not just the president, it's the Senate, the House, for the generations now. It's just ridiculous. And to what you just said, help me out again. I lost my train of thought. What did you just ask? Seriously, because I had
asked you, I said Biden's been there for 47 years. It's one of the big complaints I keep seeing and hearing. How's he going to do something different all of a sudden now?
here's my answer to that. And I would encourage our listeners and our board members here, go Google who has had control of the Senate for the majority of those years. You cannot make changes when your party does not have the majority, especially when we now have a bipartisan system that refuses to work with each other on anything.
Right.
Look how long we've been waiting for stimulus checks. Other countries have taken care of their people, and we're all just like, well, $1,200 once. They refuse to cross the aisle, even on shit that makes sense to both parties.
Right. Obama warned us when he was in office that this shit was going to happen. He told the Republicans, stop demonizing each other in the media, because you're not going to be able to work with me, and I'm not going to be able to work with you. That shit happened in 2008 when Obama got elected. He told them, stop doing that shit. And they would not stop. They kept listening to all of those Fox News commentators. They kept feeding the base. They grew the Tea Party. They grew all of these.
That's your time, Rob.
And now this shit is separated.
You got to talk twice. Marco.
I would buy into that bullshit if I was listening to Biden constantly saying, I'm the man this. And you
Can we not do this 47
years?
It's not your turn, Rob.
Said that he had no power, he had no nothing, but all of a sudden now he did do this. He did. You know what he did? He put black folks in jail. He told you guys in Congress. In Congress.
And Trump
never said that word. Trump never said that word on Congress.
Everyone's talking. Everyone's talking.
Can I have my time?
Moderator.
Stop. Everyone talk all at once. Let's just agree on this. Trump never said the N-word.
Not according to the who wrote that book. She said he said it all the time.
On national television, on C-SPAN? On C-SPAN. Look that shit up.
Okay, that got unproductive real quick.
Stop with this narrative of Biden has been in Congress for 47 years and didn't do shit. He's been fighting for women's equal rights and equals pay since the goddamn 90s. He helped Obama pass the Criminal Justice Reform Act when Obama was
that was really bad. Did you ever read that?
For criminal justice, he actually did. He shortened sentences for people. Over 700 felons on minor crack charges got released under Obama.
Oh my God!
The narrative Trump is the one that people years did nothing happen. That's bullshit. Educate yourself and stop listening to talking points.
Do some research, man. Educate yourself.
So Biden just been sitting in Congress for 47 years, still on his goddamn thumbs. He ain't been doing
pretty much. You know the reform thing you keep talking about. 94, he won. Who did it? He went Obama in 94.
94 when and Billy haircuts were still. Let's go back to 94.
We can't go now. You know what? That's still a
point.
Talking about right now.
He's the one
Civilly.
Actually, and civilly, we're trying to show America that there's more in common between us than what separates us. So,
absolutely,
you've hit a nerve. It's okay. Now, while we're live or after the show,
Coke instead of Pepsi.
Coke instead of Pepsi would be a great topic. But Marco did want to talk about Hispanic Heritage Month.
This is my issue with the Hispanic Heritage thing. First of all, especially coming from a predominant, coming from the hood. Let's just say what it is. We got a lot of Hispanics, we got a lot of blacks, we got a mixture out here in Youngstown. I ain't heard not one. The closest thing they ever heard to Hispanic Heritage Month was Cinco de Mayo, and that kind of pisses me off. And plus, you know, I mean, it might have taken forever, and black folks still think they're being oppressed. But either way, they got great black leaders. There have been great civil rights leaders. There have been great black athletes and all that shit. But, you know, we got Roberto Clemente and AOC. Jesus Christ.
Well, y'all need to step your game up, man. Your food's a banger. What the hell?
You hear that? You hear what you're saying there? You hearing what you're saying there? Now, this is my issue. I was glad you said that. I was glad you said that. Because for one, we're supposed to be black too, and ain't damn bit of black person even thought about any Hispanic heritage. And two, there goes that racism again, that playful racism that it's okay to put on everybody else, but you know, black folks.
All right, old guy's got something to say about that.
The Hispanics are doing much better in this country because they pool their money and take care of their neighborhoods. They have followed the example of other foreign countries and people when it comes to economics.
I think Mark got a good point. Mark made
a good point, but so an old guy.
And can we just say real quick that in America they don't consider Hispanic a race; they consider it an ethnicity. You could be Hispanic and white, you could be Hispanic and black, you could be Hispanic and whatever.
And that's
but
another form of racism.
See, the prejudice in the Latin countries has been on national levels. Puerto Ricans and Mexicans are at each other and this way. In America, it has always been about the color of your skin. And as long as you look white, light, bright, almost white, you can get a better chance and better opportunities than anyone who was dark.
Nope, that's not around here.
That's within our community. It may not be in your city, but it's the community at large in this nation. See, you live in a whole nation of 100 million other people.
Right. And in the industry I work in the mortgage industry. And when I ask people to fill out their loan applications, there's a section of the loan application where it says fill out your race and ethnicity. Yep. And Hispanic people are always like Hispanic. And I was like, okay, and what's your race? And they always go, huh? It even confuses them. I'm Hispanic. You know, but this country, you know, once again considers race. Just real quick on his Hispanic Heritage Month, I actually studied on it a little bit since I knew this was going to be the topic. It starts September 15th.
Yeah, it's in the middle.
October 15th.
Yeah.
So even though it's his Heritage Month, it actually runs through 2 months because it starts.
It's Hispanic hair. They take a break in the middle, like, you know.
Yeah, like a
siesta. That's siesta. The siesta face.
And we don't even get the whole month from the beginning to the end. We get the middle. It's
and ironically, it was Ronald Reagan that made it a national Hispanic month back in what did it say, 83, I think it was.
Where was he governor
83,
again?
84,
California.
Yeah, so it's been Hispanic month for a long time. It's just about Hispanic. A couple of, you know,
what is it? Don Quixote, the Mexican hero.
Yeah, there you go. We got Malcolm X and we got Martin Luther King hanging up in most of our kitchens, and next to Tupac and Biggie.
Yeah. Put got Jesus up there. That's it. We got Jesus. That's it.
You know, Jesus was a black man, right?
No, Jesus was an Arab. Try again.
You got Big Pun hanging up in your house, Mark?
He was Asian.
What did you say, Rob?
I said you got Big Pun and Fat Joe hanging up in your house.
I got all different gods up on the wall. I got Jesus up there. I got different Hindu gods. I got different Tibetan gods. I got a whole wall of different.
Jesus,
you know.
You be like that guy from The Mummy. You just have like all of them. You're just trying to make sure you're covered.
That's right.
More like Constantine, but okay.
In this one.
No,
like, I couldn't put a crucifix up in my house. I don't believe in putting up crucifixes.
You know what? We haven't delved into on the show, and I think it'd be great for a future episode. Religion.
What? Oh, here you go. I don't believe in crucifixes because I think it's a fucking reminder that somebody whooped his ass.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. Like, I don't get what part of the story made Christians think that he liked crucifixes. Like, I don't. It's simple.
If
Like, why
I
wasn't
got
it
my
like-
ass whooped to help you out, and I go to your house and you got pictures of my ass whooped all over the place, I'm gonna be salty as fuck.
Like, he
You
did.
know what
wait
Jesus
for-
gonna do when he come to your house?
He did. Hold on. He
Dumb bastards.
You want?
Right.
Do you want to see your ass whooped, even though you
Right.
sacrificed yourself for your boy?
Listen,
Yeah.
I get that it's a symbol of a sacrifice, but I'm just saying. I mean, water to wine. Like there was. Like it should have been.
He killed a kid.
Should have been a fish.
Listen, you don't understand. The crucifix saved mankind.
I mean, if
right?
you don't let me make my joke right now,
Crucifix
if
saved
you don't let me
mankind.
make my joke right now,
The cross represents victory over the grave. It represents death and life for any follower of Jesus Christ. So when you see that means victory over death, and that I have salvation. If we talk religion, we can talk religion. Yeah, they still.
all I'm saying.
Ryan, make his guy do Jesus Christ. Come on, Ryan, let's hear it.
The mood has left me because I was trying to lighten up the chat and have a little bit of fun with y'all.
Let's hear it.
No, and then
You're just like picking up the tension, bro.
I gotta hear it. I got it from friends over here.
You're not doing that.
I'm not
No, we're
ignorant.
not talking ignorant about it. We're just point of view because I got different
People are like, well, I
different
don't
theories
put
on
a
that
cross because that
cross.
symbolizes Jesus' death. No, it does not. It symbolizes victory over death. So
That's your interpretation.
No,
Are you
that's the
having? Are you
reason.
having fun? Are you
Greg,
having fun,
celebrating
Greg?
Hispanic Heritage Month, big time right over there.
Greg, are you enjoying? Greg's Marco's producer. Are you enjoying this? Do you want to pick up your
I am having a blast.
Now, what I was trying to say,
I don't think we got an answer on that.
Yeah.
Skirted an issue.
now in different religions, that cross means something totally different.
Right.
That cross is a symbol of the planet of the crossing. According to Sumerian text, that cross was a symbol way before Jesus was even thought of. The cross with the circle around it, man, it was more of a symbol of Nibiru. And that's according to Sumerian text, which is older than any Bible ever written. So it's just what you believe in and your interpretation of it. If you want to believe that means victory, there ain't nothing wrong with it. I ain't knocking it. I'm just saying if me and you was walking down the street and somebody started trying to get at you and I took the ass whooping, I came to fucking your house the next day and you pictures of ass whooping all over your house. And you want me to be your friend? You want me to love you after that?
That shit don't even make any sense, Michael.
Oh shit, you got the on?
I don't even know what the hell we're talking about. If you get your ass whooped from me, you just got your ass whooped. Sorry.
It's the same.
So, what do y'all want to talk about the last 30?
I just want to ask one Mexican rights that are Mexican Americans. Marco
Ruben Salazar.
What?
Get educated, Marco.
I'm an American, man.
Covering the Hispanic American community. Like, the dude is a civil rights leader and a legend in the Hispanic community. He's the Hispanic Malcolm X.
I know a bunch of Proud Boys, and I just found out the leader of the Proud Boys is Hispanic.
He did a right to give the machine song.
Jesus is that's all I'm saying.
Noche Telemundo.
Watch the Telemundo news, but I don't know what they're saying.
Not me neither. I used to try to teach
You look
myself
better-
Spanish
hey,
by
man,
putting Harry Potter
your
on in
anchors look better
Spanish
than
and
our
reading the
anchors.
bottom.
Listen, all I'm saying
I
is
think that's
Spanish
the
soap
show.
operas still look like the greatest thing that culture has ever given us. I have no idea what they're saying, but I'm like, God damn, that's acting.
Yeah.
Even
They
their
mean
fucking
it. They all
news
went to the
channels. You ever
William
watch those
Shatner
like
School of
Hispanic
Acting.
news with the big
No.
the chicks always got their tits like they're fucking right here huge, and they're always
my God.
jiggling. It could be raining, it could be snowing.
Well, yeah,
it could
you know,
be,
back to. Okay, so I wanted to ask Marco. Marco, what the hell is Trump's platform? But this would be a good platform if you want to make America great again. I say all news anchors are Hispanic news anchors. That's the platform you should be running on. Tits and beer, 2020.
that sounds actually like something Trump would run on.
Sounds like a Psycho Stick song or something.
It's a beer.
Trump like Russian women with large bladders.
I don't discriminate. I only like my wife.
Did y'all catch that
Take
jab
us
from
out,
Biden,
Ryan.
by the way? It was something. Hold on. What was that jab he threw at like the last
Both
second?
throwing, like real weak jabs.
No, there was a good one though. There was a good one. Will you let him finish? And Biden goes, he doesn't know how. that was the highlight of the debate for me. Melania was in the back somewhere rolling. She was like,
Earlier on, Trump said something about they were talking about truth. The word truth was getting thrown back and forth, and he said, "Let me tell you the truth." And Biden quipped in with, "I don't think you can."
No, I think it
There's
hurts him.
a great meme going around if you want to see something funny. When Biden's wife walks up to him at the end of the debate, he gives her this big hug, and they stand side by side with their hands around each other's waist. When Melania walks up to Trump, he kind of pats her on the arm, and she stands next to him, and they just kind of look at the crowd, not holding hands, just kind of like. I mean, it's the most unloving relationship I think I've ever seen between a man and a wife.
Look, I'm a Trump supporter, but would you want to have Trump cock in your mouth every night? I mean, really?
I don't know, Marco. You do so.
Yeah, that was where I was going.
I was just about to say the
You
same
lost
thing.
an underhanded softball to
He
this.
got it
entire-
in the prenup.
How
He got it in the prenup.
You know what's great? And listen, Greg, Jared, you guys got to come back. I love that he brought you guys on the show, and you're the one laughing at the Margot did.
And we're all equal. See, this is true equality. This is true equality. We over each other all the time. It sounds a lot of times people thought we was like fighting, especially me, Jared, and Scotty when we get into it. But at the end of the day, man, you can't let this bullshit fucking ruin your day, your life, your fucking next 20 minutes. If you let it fuck with your life, again, you're a weak person. You're a weak, you can't let this shit fuck with your life. Now, it bothers you. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody got to be bothered about something. If you don't feel passionate about something, you're fucking dead inside. But if you let that shit fucking ruin your day, your situation, make you fucking addicted to your wife, your kids, or just a bad day at work, or,
What the fuck?
See, I kind of mix it up. I do like the Brazilian porn, the darker girls. Dude, the dark Brazilian. God.
We went all out. I'm fine with the last 3 minutes. Goodbye.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
We're on their dime now.
nowhere. Go for an hour and a half because if you guys want to. First of all, they stuck around, and what I think my biggest pet peeve, and maybe it's because I'm a whiny millennial. I don't know. Stop being fucking divided. Americans, and you're allowed to be obliged when something happens. So,
DNA mixing level. Dr. Seuss who had his ear down or some shit like that.
I
because
don't eat
then we'll
green
look
eggs and ham.
Then we'll look at
Hold on. Moderator. I want to suggest for our first piece of merch, some an EFE bracelet.
Listen,
EFE.
if you want an EFE bracelet, let us know in the comments. I will buy that shit and ship it to 100 people that want one. I'm not even kidding. I'm trying to stimulate the post office. Needs to learn to stimulate his wife. I'm sorry. His wife was about to cold cock somebody at that rally. You got to mess with my man? Oh hell no! His wife got a little bit of everybody.
I have a headache.
Everybody.
No, I know this. I know this. Donald.
They ask him how he sleeps at bullshit that they send me, and he says, you fucking matter.
Shit about his sex. I'll be right back.
Women. Ugly rich dudes get hot women.
Rich dudes just get hot women.
Mark says he wants to talk about Hispanic ladies. Mark, if you want to talk about Hispanic ladies, join us
Vanessa
live.
Del Rio.
Go to Pornhub Live.
Look, Greg, come on with Vanessa Del Rio.
I just love it. Join us live this Saturday for Random Panda.
No, stop. We got to talk about this.
I've been around
some vintage porn from back in the day.
A long time. The number
Vanessa
one,
Del Rio.
The number one book was The Story of How to Train a Sex Slave.
Mr. Olga! You got me blushing.
That's like frightening.
He's a super freak.
I got a whole new respect for Mr. Olga right now.
All right, now let Ryan finish. Ryan finish.
I'm pretty sure Greg is a killer. He's been on the show a whole hour and hasn't said like 2 sentences.
Well, because
That's
I'm dealing with internet issues over here, so y'all sound like T-Pain trying to make a song. It fucks us up.
Oh, man. What I was saying is I would be completely down to talk Hispanic ladies with the ladies this Saturday on Random Tandem at 7 o'clock. We're going to be joined. No, actually, Michelle is not going to make it today. I'm sorry. We need a new lady. If you're a Hispanic lady and you want to come on the show, please go ahead and drop a DM to Mr. Old Guy.
You got Marco.
Drop him.
What do you mean by casting couch, Paul?
You trying to get me killed?
It's gonna be about the little.
We're trying to fix or end his marriage, so we're accepting only yoga pants. Only yoga pants will be accepted.
Oh, dude! Look, speaking of yoga pants, look, ladies, I know people think that yoga pants. I want. It's like tights. Don't. If you got, you know, she got to know she got to ask like that. You know.
Anybody don't know what Marco is referring to? We're doing one of our comedy shows. Some pictures from the latest Illustrated swimsuit issue, and they had some of the flattest asses I've ever seen.